Welcome to the Copado Architect Corner. Today we're talking about data cloud deployment, using Copado as it is today with its automations, and growing with data cloud as it evolves and grows. My name is Steve Simpson. I head up Global Enablement and Learning for Copado. I'm also a Salesforce certified technical architect, architect instructor, and I am a data cloud instructor also with the Trailhead program. Today, I'm going to be walking you through how Copado can support data cloud deployments today and how we can grow with Copado and data cloud in the future. So first, we're going to do basic Copado workflow, showing you what optimal state is using current core metadata deployment. We're going to walk through sample data cloud configuration, sample data cloud deployment, the manual way, how Copado can automate it with our automations, and then talk about the future. So first, here's a sample Copado pipeline. This shows a series of pipelines. I've been doing a lot of data cloud testing. I have a data cloud dev going to a data cloud QA, another pair of dev going to QA, and a third pair of dev going to QA, working towards a user acceptance testing and eventually production. I'm going to show you a sample way to move Copado metadata between orgs, sample core metadata. So first, I'm going to start with a user story. I'm going to hit new and create a new user story, and we'll call this balance one field. I'm going to pick the project, hit save, and then I'm going to be able to go to here and tell Copado which place to find the source, which of my environments to find it. So I'm going to have it in Data Cloud Dev 1 and hit save. And this is a user story from which I'm going to make a change. Now I'm going to be in my dev sandbox, go to Object Manager, go to Custom Field, and I'm going to add a custom field, new, and I'm going to create a sample balance. So here it is, a sample balance field, and then I'm going to hit next, add it to the page layout, and then also add it to the profile. Here I switch back to the user story. I'm going to go commit my screen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my changes. So I press get changes, and then I can see my field in here. So I'm going to get the changes. From here, I can see my balance one, my layout, and the admin profile. And from here, I can commit the changes and add them to Git and have them ready in source code control. So here's a successful commit. You can look on the build. I actually can see the metadata that was brought in. And if I go back to the source environment, there's the balance one field. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the easy method. We're going to go to deliver, check promote and deploy, check this box and save. And this is about to trigger a deployment. I refreshed, I checked the box, promote and deploy, hit save. And this is triggering a deployment. I can actually go down and go to the promotion record, and I can watch this deployment in action. So you can see that it's doing its connection with Git, pulling the information. Here I can see it starting the deployment, calling the deployment functions, and then soon it'll move over and start connecting with the Salesforce metadata API with the actual deployment. These are being driven by the Copado deployment server. There it is beginning, and it is beginning the deployment into the target org. Before it finishes, I can see the separate URL for target org, and there is no balance one field. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to refresh. So there is no balance one field, and we're going to go monitor for when the deployment's done. Now the deployment's done, we hit to the target org. We're going to refresh. And we should be able to see the balance one there. So that was the basic Copado workflow. Matter of clicks, we're able to take metadata changes from source to target. Now we're going to walk through Data Cloud, go through a sample configuration in those same two orgs, and we're going to show what it takes manually, and then we're going to show how Copado can automate it today. So first, I'm going to create a brand new data model object. We'll call it sample DM, sample data model. We'll make it just a generic other. We'll then give it a new field called a primary key. We'll make it a text, make it the P key, and I'm going to add 2 more fields. So here's a data 1, text, data 2, that's a number, and I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to create a new data lake object manually. I'm going to call it sample DL, and I'm going to add the similar type fields. So here are the similar fields, but not exact, created in the data lake object. And now what I need to do is just add it to the data space. So here I am adding the sample DL to the default data space. And now I'm going to go back to my data lake object, my sample DL, and I'm going to do the mappings between the sample data lake and the sample data model. Now I'm going to quickly do the mappings, field 1 to data 1, field 2 to data 2, and I'm going to save my mappings. Now, unlike metadata, your source, there's the source sandbox org and your data cloud components. You can't metadata deploy them directly. What the best approach defined by Salesforce is you bring them into a data kit, and then what you do is there are 3 methods to deploy the data kit. You either use a package deployment, a change set deployment, or the metadata deployment, which is still under development with some issues. Currently, the package deployment appears to be the most reliable. I'm really looking forward to the metadata deployment becoming more capable. So we'll do the package deployment to the target data kit. And then from the data kit, some of the elements will deploy directly. Some of them may require either manual steps, or you can use a new flow called the deploy data kit components flow. And that flow can be triggered on some future screens, or it can also be triggered by an API call. So I'm going to quickly show you this and then show how Copado can automate this. So I create a new sample data kit, and then what I can do is I add elements to it. So I'm adding my sample data model to it, and then I go down into my data lake object and I add my sample data lake object to it. It's also bringing in the mappings. So this has both the sample DML, the data lake DML, and this DML, the sample data lake object and the sample data model object, along with the mappings. When you're ready to publish it manually, you go publish, open package manager. We're going to then create a new package. And this can be any name. This could be DL package, a DK package. And then I'm going to hit save. And then from here, I'm going to add an element, and I add my data kit definition of my sample data kit, and I add to the package. And then from here, it's captured all the internal dependencies of those custom fields, the mappings. This has all been captured automatically. And then when I'm ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from here, go upload. And this is triggering the upload of the package. Give it a version name first. Could be arbitrary, and upload. So right now I have created a package which has my data kit, and now I need to bring this package to the target environment. Here's how I run the install package, and I'm installing the package. There's my installed package. And in the target org, I can see my data model object unmapped. If I go to data lake objects and go to all data lakes, I don't see it. And that's because it needs to be deployed either by going new and from a data kit manually. This requires manual clicks, and then I can choose it. Here's the sample data kit, and there's my sample DMO. Or you can tap into the new hidden flow that Salesforce has, and I can actually call that through Postman. So here's Postman about to call into the org, telling it to install the sample DK and to install the sample data lake object. I hit send, and I get a 200 OK, that's success. And now I'm going to refresh my data lake objects, and you'll see my sample DL is there. And if I click on it, not only did the data lake come across but I can review the mappings, and all the mappings came across. So now I'm going to show you how we took the streamlined Copado, we took the manual steps for a data cloud deployment, and then we're going to put them together with Copado's automation capabilities. So in Copado, we can have that same build screen, and we can have customized build steps. We could have a function to create the data kit, a function, a robotic test using our RPA, Robotic Process Automation, prepare the data kit, enable the data kit, install the data kit, and I'm going to go take a look. Here is install the data kit. What I can actually click here is on my function. These allow me to run code inside. So from here, this will install a second gen package. It'll run a block of code. I can take a look at the script. And what this allows me to do is run SFDX commands as part of the automated deployment. I can even have a robotic test that can enable Data Cloud if it hasn't already been enabled in the org. So from here, I can have this step, and I can go into the job step and actually go in and bring up the robotic test. And here's actually the robotic test code that says find the button and enable Einstein. So with the combination of our functions, which can call API endpoints or install SFDX commands, and robotic tests to authenticate the data streams, and trigger the deployment flow through the function, we can actually automate the end-to-end deployment of Data Cloud. Here's an actual promotion record where you can see it ran the data kit deployment flow, it authenticated. We can click here and we can actually see the results. So here we can go see the logs. And this is actually showing me the logs of executing the data kit deployment flow. And here are the logs of robotic testing RPA, deploying and running the identity resolution, and I can actually see successful logs. So Copado has a seamless end-to-end deployment workflow from within Salesforce. We can then take data cloud deployments. We can use our automated functions, metadata API, plus our robotic testing, and we can deploy data cloud as it exists today. As new capabilities and APIs become available, we can tap into those and shift our automations. So we could be deploying data cloud and keep tracking with data cloud as it evolves and grows. I hope this was helpful. May the deployments be with you. And this is the way to deploy data cloud. Something a little old, something new. Hope this was helpful. Have a great day.